After more than a decade of working with clients on retirement timing, we see this happening all the time. Canadians work longer because it feels like the smart, safe move, and then they're surprised when their old age security starts getting clawed back. So why is it so surprising? Well, because nothing really feels wrong while you're doing it. Income is good, our RSPs are growing, and working a few extra years feels responsible.
So yes, years of experience working with retirees have helped us notice that 63 hits a sweet spot. And why? Income is lower, RSP withdrawals are still fully in your control, and old age security hasn't kicked in just yet. The surprising part is, retiring at this age often protects your old age security while working longer can make you lose some of it. Not because you did anything wrong, but simply because timing quietly makes the decision for you.
I'm Carlo Cancino.
And I'm John Iaconetti.
We're financial advisors with the McClelland Financial Group, and today we want to walk you through how this OAS trap forms, why it feels invisible while you're in it, and how understanding the timing early keeps you in control. Nobody wants to worry about problems that haven't appeared yet, and that's the reason this gets missed. When everything looks fine, the brain naturally says, I'll deal with this later. Don't blame yourself for this. It's a totally natural way our brains handle things that don't really feel urgent.
So when clients come in thinking they did everything right, maxed their RSPs, they worked longer, they didn't touch anything early, they're genuinely shocked when old age security gets reduced. And this is not because you ignored planning, but because nobody showed you how all the income stacks later on. So let's focus on the 3 things that quietly create old age security clawback because most Canadians only notice one. First, total income can get too high once old age security starts. Second, income starts stacking up. A CPP kicks in, old age security kicks in, maybe a pension, and then the RSP is still sitting there just waiting to be utilized. And third, the one that most people don't see coming, RSPs eventually become RIFs, and then withdrawals are no longer optional but mandatory. Now that we've laid this out, let's talk about the psychology behind it. When money is still coming in and nothing feels urgent, people naturally put off decisions. So that delay isn't irresponsible, it's really just human. But income keeps stacking whether you're paying attention to it or not. Old age security clawback doesn't feel like a penalty, it feels like confusion. One year the deposit's there, and next year it's just a little bit smaller. Think about it like going over the speed limit without seeing the sign, and you only find out when the ticket actually shows up at your door.
Nice. Here's what makes age 63 different. Not because it's early, but because something important stops. Employment income drops off. And just as important, old age security hasn't started yet. That creates a short window where income is naturally lower and nothing new has been added on top. So during this time, our RSP withdrawals are still completely flexible. No minimums, no forced income. So it's the last moment where you can make intentional decisions before the system starts making them for you. Now, let's compare that to retiring at 65 or later. Salary stays high right until CPP and OAS turns on. Everything begins at once. CPP, old age security, RIF income, all flowing in the same tax year. Income stacks up whether you plan it or not. So naturally, once everything is flowing, flexibility drops fast, leading us to understand what to do during that window.
This is usually where people hesitate. They say, I don't want to touch my RSP just yet. And that reaction makes complete sense. For decades, the message was, don't touch it. That's really just loss aversion. Giving up something now feels worse than preventing a future problem, even when the math really supports it.
But the goal here isn't spending more, it's choosing when income shows up. So by withdrawing intentionally between 63 and 65, you reduce the RSP before it becomes a RIF, which means smaller mandatory withdrawals later and less income stacking on top of CPP and old age security.
This is also where market volatility comes into play. When markets feel uncertain, people default to waiting, not because waiting improves the outcome, but because it feels safer. At this point, pause for a second. Just because waiting feels safe doesn't mean it's helping.
Once RIF minimums begin, the system starts deciding how much income shows up. And default decisions are rarely tailored to your situation. They're just the rules kicking in. That's when people realize they're reacting instead of planning. And reacting is almost always more expensive than deciding early.
We've seen clients wait until their early 70s, take just the minimum withdrawals, and suddenly lose thousands to old age security clawbacks. But nothing dramatic happened. No bad investments, no sudden lifestyle changes.
Yeah, it really catches people off guard. And honestly, it's easy to feel frustrated or blame yourself, but it's just timing. And once that clawback starts, there's no reset button.
Yeah. The conclusion leads up to realizing Canadians who retire at 63 aren't trying to escape work, they're trying to protect future income. They understand that timing matters more than the totals. So now that you've seen why Canadians retiring at 63 often avoid massive old age security clawbacks, you can think about this based on math, not assumptions. Working longer isn't always better. Timing is what's going to matter.
So if this raised questions, that's a good thing. Whether you're still early enough to plan or already closer to retirement, there are steps you can take. For a clearer picture of your own situation, click the link below to book your free portfolio analysis. We can help you see how income stacks, what choices matter most, and how to adjust your plan.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.